Part 3. No divorce? But hell begins. I was ready for a divorce. But my wife said one thing that made me realize I'd never escape. That moment, I remember every detail. The room was so quiet. I could hear my own breathing. My wife stood in front of me, my phone in her hand. The screen was still on. Those messages, raw, undeniable. I didn't defend myself, didn't explain, didn't beg. I just stood there, like a man already sentenced. She didn't scream, didn't throw things, didn't make a scene like I imagined. She just asked, "Do you love her?" The question was terrifyingly soft. I tried to speak, but couldn't, and my silence was the clearest answer. She looked at me, didn't cry right away, didn't react, just looked. That look wasn't anger, wasn't pain. It was something breaking, like something inside her had just completely collapsed. Then she fell, not dramatically, just losing all strength. She cried, no sound, just broken breaths, like someone who couldn't hold on anymore. For the first time in my life, I felt disgusting. I rushed to her, held her, called her name, but I knew, in that moment, nothing could ever go back. The days after felt like a nightmare. I took time off work, stayed home with her, cooked, took care of the kids, did everything a good husband should do, but it all felt meaningless because I knew I was no longer the man she trusted. Some nights, she would lie with her back to me, say nothing, no tears, just silence, and that silence terrified me. I started thinking about divorce, not because I wanted to leave, but because I thought it was the only way to free her. One evening, I said, "I'm sorry, let's get a divorce." I was ready for a storm, but her answer sent chills down my spine. No, just one word. I thought I misheard. She sat up, looked straight at me, her eyes completely different. No weakness, no collapse, just terrifying calm. She said, "The kids did nothing wrong." I stayed silent. She continued, "If adults make mistakes, adults deal with it. No one has the right to destroy the children's family." I wanted to say something, but I couldn't. She added, "We will keep living together, as a family." It sounded forgiving, but somehow, it felt very wrong, very wrong. The days after, everything went on, as if nothing happened. She still cooked, still took care of the kids, still smiled in front of others. We still had family dinners, still took photos, still posted online. A perfect family. No one suspected anything, but I knew, inside, everything was rotting. At home, things became strange. She took care of me more than before, checked on me, showed concern, even gentler. Before, I would have felt warmth, but now, I only felt cold, because it wasn't real. One evening, she said, "This isn't only your fault." I was surprised. She continued, "I'm at fault too. I didn't care about you enough." I didn't know how to respond. It sounded like forgiveness, but her voice had no emotion, like she was reading a script. I began to feel something was changing, quietly, no explosions, but far more dangerous. Then one day, over something so small, I joked, "You've been so nice lately." She went silent for a few seconds, then turned to me. That look made my spine freeze. "Nice? You think I'm acting?" Her voice wasn't loud, but sharp. Then she smiled, a smile I had never seen before. "You think after everything, I'd still be the same?" I froze. From that moment, everything changed. She didn't scream every day, but she didn't need to. One small detail was enough, a word, a glance, a tiny mistake, and she could pull everything back. "Do you remember what you did? You think you deserve to be treated well?" Those words didn't come often, but when they did, they cut deep. Like a blade, I started living in constant alert. I never knew when she would snap. Silence was wrong. Speaking was wrong. I was no longer myself. I couldn't joke, couldn't relax, couldn't live. Everything I did felt like I was being watched. And the scariest part, on the outside, we were still perfect. No one knew, no one saw, only me, living in a war, with no sound. I began to understand. This wasn't forgiveness. This was punishment, quiet, endless, with no finish line. And then I realized something that made my skin crawl. She didn't want to leave, not because she still loved me, but because she wanted me to stay and suffer. But that wasn't the worst part. What truly broke me was, even while living in that hell, I started missing the other woman more than ever.